from 1 to 7 by myself. I have a younger brother, we're 7 years apart, and I was close to my cousins, but I only got to see them during the weekend. And so during the weekdays, I would have to play by myself. And so I would really create my own world, create my own, and many times it had something to do with television. I was fascinated with watching TV. I was fascinated by how you can laugh and entertain. And so I created my own shows a lot of times. I would do my own concerts, and I would hear a song, and I would do my own music video. I would love to go back to who I was and watch myself now. Because as a kid, I didn't care. Like, my mom, we talk about it sometimes, and my mom's like, yeah, we would watch you outside of the window. And you would just be in your own little world. And I didn't really care about what other people thought. I didn't care that they were there. And I would try to pull in people into my fantasy. So I went through a small phase of liking soap operas. Just because they were a lot of drama. And so my neighbor Janelle, I would pull her in. She was an easy one. Like, I'd be like, come on over and play. Let's do soap opera. Okay, I'm on my way. And her favorite thing was to slam the door. The imaginary door, I don't know, it wasn't there. But I would turn trees into spaceships. And I would climb the branches, and those were the hallways going into different doors. I would turn my driveways into backstage access, thank you, into some of the backstage access. I would turn my mom and dad's garage door into my curtain of the stage. And I would start my show, and I'd open up the garage, and as it began to rise, I would be standing ready in my position. And the doors would go open, and I'd then have to run, go press play, then come back and be in my position, and then I'd go out, start dancing. Now, I got so high tech after a while that, remember the two cassette players that they have? You can play it on one side and record on the other side.
Yes.
Right? So I would have the clock that had the seconds, and I would record a song. Then I would let that recording. I'd switch out the cassette, put the other cassette in, watch so that it was exactly 60 seconds, then press play. So I knew that on my recording I had exactly 60 seconds in between all of the songs. And that's when I would go do my costume change.
Wow.
So I had it hold the entire thing timed out. I even did that with my TV shows that I would do in my head, that I would have it timed out so that was when we would go to commercial break. So as I started to hear the music come back, I'd be like, we'll be right back after these messages. All right, you guys, so when we come back from commercial, I'm going to be doing this and this and this. And I had it all in my head. This imagination, this dream, this vision. Like, I had no idea what it was going to be, how it was going to show up. At the age of 4 years old, I created my IFC, my imaginary film crew. And this imaginary film crew went everywhere with me. It would follow me. I could go turn on the news. I'd be a news reporter. I'd be like, what's up, everybody? We're live right now here in Orlando, Florida at the incredible Omni Hotel, where we're here for Speaking Right to Make Millions. And joining me, what's your name?
Hello, good morning, Dana Goldfarb.
Dana, thank you so much. Tell me, what are you excited about? All of a sudden pulling people in. Yeah. I go up to random strangers, and they would play along, and they were like, what are we doing? And I didn't care.
Purity.
Exactly. They would just follow along, and they're probably thinking, this poor kid. Oftentimes when we're a child, we just dream. We have little, and we can turn something so little into something huge. How many of you guys, by a show of hands, can remember some of the things that you would dream and that you would pretend as a child? Yeah. How many of you guys have lived out all those dreams?
Some.
Some of them, right. Perfect. How many of you guys are working towards living out those dreams? Yes. So what I want to do is, we oftentimes have a conversation that says that we can't do it. We have experiences that have occurred that says that we can't do it. And so this session is about living your dream. And for some of us, our dream is really close.
Amen.
For some of us, our dream, you just got a couple more things to put into place, to get to. And then for others of us, we're here and our dreams may be way over there. And it almost seems impossible. And I want to help you. I'm going to give you a visual of demythifying the fact that your dreams go away. Because how many of you guys at some point thought that your dream has gone away? Like, I'm never going to do it. It's just not going to happen. Right? And sometimes we walk around thinking that it's not there anymore. It's like, what happened? So I want to ask you guys.
Too much reality.
Yes, exactly. I want you guys to think for a moment of a child between the ages of 0 to 4. 0 to 4. Yes, please. Thank you. 0 to 4. What are some of the powerful, positive qualities of a child between the ages of 0 to 4?
Imagination.
Imagination. Perfect. Okay. And Yetta is very creative, yes?
Yes.
So she can spell creatively as well, right? So let's just put that in there. So if she doesn't spell something right, don't worry about it.
No stress.
Yeah. Okay, so they're stress-free.
Unlimited.
Unlimited.
Colorful.
Pure. Okay, hold on. We got to get it right.
Spontaneous.
Yep. Hold that one because that's a good one. Okay, spontaneous.
There was another one though, right before.
Colorful.
Pure. Okay, hold that one because that's a good one. I want that one in here too.
O-U-S or O-S?
It don't matter, just ask. What was the other one?
Loving.
Fearless.
Loving. They're very loving.
Loving, that's a good one.
Inquisitive.
Hold that one too.
Curious.
Loving, inquisitive.
Curious.
They're curious, yes. They are funny. They're so curious sometimes that they'll get into all kinds of stuff just trying to figure things out, right? They're nurturing. Innocent. They will try you. But think about it now, when you think about trying, they try us as adults, right? But what really is that? They're tenacity.
They're persistent.
They're finding themselves. They're determined.
They're persistent.
They're determined.
Persistent.
Like, yeah, brutally honest sometimes. My niece, bless her heart, I love it. She, I was holding her one day, and she's just like one or 2 years old, and I was holding her in my arms, and I'm talking to her, I'm like, "How you doing, mija?" And as I'm talking to her, she goes, and put her hand over my mouth. She goes, "Bad breath." To this day, I think I'm very nervous. So if you talk to me like this, and then you start to walk away and go like this, I'm thinking, "Oh my God, is my breath stink?" But they're limitless, right? They're limitless. Okay, perfect. They have faith. And what's another word for faith?
Believe.
Trust.
Trust. They are so trusting.
Did we get fearless up there?
Like we go through and we grow up learning not to trust. And then we teach them not to trust.
Don't trust any strangers.
Don't trust strangers. Like, don't talk to them. And then we wonder why, as adults, we're growing up like this. Don't do this. Don't do that. Like we as adults are putting so many limits on our children. And only because that's what was done to us. Like we teach what we learned, right? So let me ask you guys this question. Anything else any of them want to add to the list?
I do. Colorful.
They're colorful. They take risks. That's right. They don't see color. Like they see people. They're open. So let me ask you this question. When we made this list, were we talking about the exact same child?
No.
No. I was thinking of my niece. Who are some of the people you were thinking of? Your family? Adoption? Pardon? Kids that you know, right? Grandchildren? Thinking about you, right? As a child. So can we say for the sake of this lesson, and I'm not here to impose my beliefs, but for the sake of this lesson, can we say that when we were created, when we were birthed onto this planet, when God created us, that each and every one of us came with these same qualities?
Yes.
Perfect. So, so for the sake of this lesson, let this represent an empty vessel. This represents us when we came into this earth. We came as an empty shell. We came empty and ready to be filled. And then, do you guys remember, and Lisa was talking about this yesterday, talking about old slogans. Remember when she was talking about the different slogans that we remember back in the day? And back in the day, and I think it was the 70s or 80s, maybe it was the early 80s, there was, Coke had a promotion, and they called Coke the real thing. The real thing. It was Ray Charles. Da 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 da. The Coke is the real. I don't know how to sing it, but it was the real thing. All right. Da 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 da. I'm hungry. So back in the day, Coke said that they were the real thing, meaning that everybody else was fake, imitation. So Mountain Dew was fake. Dr. Pepper is fake. Sprite is fake. Pepsi.
Real fake.
We got a Pepsi fan in the house. So they said that Coke is the real thing. So let this Coke represent the real thing. Who you are and what we were birthed with. Got it? So when we came in, and actually if I can get one more volunteer up here, Joy, and then if you can point, you point, I'm going to have Joy hold the mic. So Coke is going to represent the real thing with us, what we came in. This is the vessel and how we came in. What we're going to do is I'm going to have Yetta point to each of the different Whoa. There's another lesson that I can use with Coke. I really need Coke to be one of our sponsors because did you hear just what happened?
It's so bubbly.
It was bubbly. A lot of times when, I'm going to give you like the 30-second version of this. A lot of times when we're walking around, we're quiet, we're still, and then all of a sudden things happen in our life that shake us up. And then things don't go the way that we want them to. Or things start creating chaos in our life.
Don't open it.
Right. What did you just say?
Don't
Don't open it, right? What would happen if I opened it?
It's gonna be everywhere.
How many of you guys have ever exploded on people before?
Yes.
Right. Same thing happens in our lives. We have so much pressure that builds up. That all of a sudden we explode on people. Take a deep breath.
All right.
I want to acknowledge you guys because being here at Speaking Right is letting off some of that pressure.
Yes.
Slowly letting it out so that you don't explode on people. And for some of us, we implode. I was an imploder. I didn't want my mess to show up in anybody else's life.
Yes.
So I carried it. So I numbed myself.
Yeah.
That was like a really 30-second version of another lesson. But so this Coke represents the real thing. So as Yetta points to the quality, I'm going to pour in the Coke into the bottle to represent us. So when we were born, we were
Loving.
there you go. And you guys say, as she points,
Fearless, loving, joy, inquisitive, pure, curious.
now stop. How many of you guys of what we've done so far can look at that list and say that that is still you? How many of you guys can look at that list and say, I could be more of that?
I literally just did that.
Right. So listen, as she points to it, if there's something there, I want you to say it, say what the quality is. But if that's something that you wonder, man, I could use more of that, I want you to ask yourself, what happened? What happened? You don't have to answer, just say, what happened? Go for it, Yenna.
Unlimited, funny, spontaneous,
honest, nurturing, innocent,
What happened?
faith, tenacity, determined,
What happened?
trusting, colorful, risk-taking, see people, open, learners.
What happened?
So I want you to see, this represents all of us.
The real thing.
The real thing.
Yeah.
Who we came onto the planet as, with all of the qualities. So pure. If I liked Coke, I could get a straw and I would be able to drink this right now, right? With some ice. I'm an iced tea drinker though, so I don't. But like somebody could drink this. It's pure, it's great. This is what we were birthed with. And then something happens. Something happens. There are things that are said to us, things that are done to us. All that negative chatter starts to show up. So this oil is going to represent the junk. This oil is going to represent the things that have been said to us, the things that have been done to us. And so I want to know from you, what are some of the things that people have said to you or done to you that have kept you from being the real you? So for me, I grew up always being here, you talk too much.
Ditto.
Yes.
And if anybody says anything that's perfect that you said, ditto.
Ditto, yeah.
If anybody says something that you can relate to, I want you guys to raise your hand. And if you have your hand raised, kind of look around to see that you're not what?
Alone.
Alone. And if you don't have your hand up, don't look around because then you're just nosy.
That's right.
You guys stop the talk.
Right. So this is just our way by raising our hand to realize, to have a conversation of just saying, I see you, you're not alone. So what are some of the other things that people have said to you and done to you?
Strange.
You're not beautiful. You're weird. Say that again. Parents leaving.
Too loud.
Strange. You're too sensitive. Weak.
Too fat.
You're too fat. Too ugly, I heard over here. Too skinny. Not smart enough. You're not going to make it, Joe, you were going to say? You're stupid. Say that? Starving artist. Why are you going to do that? How many of you guys have a dream and somebody's like, why are you doing that? You're not gonna make it.
You can't.
You can't. ... whatever that is.
You're throwing your
It's
life
never gonna
away.
happen. It's never. You're throwing your life away. They start cursing you out.
Get a job.
Get a job. Get a real job. Get a real job.
We got some. That one struck a chord.
Get a life.
Right. You see, when you came here, these are your dreams. Who you are, who you're birthed as. God gave you a vision. God gave you a purpose. You were birthed with it. And then there's a layer of things that people have said to you and done to you that cover up who you truly are. And then this is what we continue to hear. This is how we continue to operate. And then we do this. Yes. We begin to believe this. And so the you're not good enough turns into I'm not good enough. I'm stupid. I'm strange. I can't do that. I don't have what it takes. We'll say that again. I need a job. I don't have the support.
I don't have the money.
I don't have the money. I don't have the degrees.
I don't know how.
Nobody cares. I don't know how.
I can't make this happen.
I can't make this happen. I'm living in fear.
Nobody's gonna buy this.
Nobody's gonna buy this. I'm not worthy. My message doesn't count. Nobody's gonna want to read my book. They're not gonna want to hear my story. I'm not gonna make an impact. Who am I to? Why am I not satisfied? I'm never gonna be able to get why am I wasting time? Nobody cares. It's not gonna happen.
I'm all alone.
Pardon?
I'm all alone.
I'm all alone.
Nobody understands me.
Look, I could use a couple gallons of this, right? Like it builds up. Now look at that. So the first layer of this is the things, right? It was the things that people said to us and have done to us. And then we begin to believe it. And so then that starts piling on. Now let me ask you this. Did your dreams go anywhere? No. Did your confidence go anywhere?
Yes.
No. Confidence is down here. Watch this. Watch this very carefully. We think if only I had more confidence, if only I had more self-esteem, if only I had more voice. I'm hitting some nerves. I can see it right now.
I get it. Yeah.
If only I had. I don't have it anymore. It's gone away. I lost it at the age of 4 years old. I lost it at the age of 7. I lost it at 8 years old. We're walking around thinking like it's gone somewhere. It hasn't gone anywhere. We're walking around with blocked access to who we are. BOL. See, I'm going to stay right here and then I'm going to walk. Yes. We're walking around in here thinking that it's disappeared, and we're getting our groove on right now. Like, we got our vibe. We're walking around thinking that it's disappeared, that it's gone somewhere. And so when people get us, when we show up in our relationships, when we show up to our coworkers, when we show up to our friends, this is what they get. They first get all of the stuff that people have said to us and done to us. Then they have all the stuff, or the things that we believe. Your own conversation. Then they get the stuff that people have said to us. Then they get us.
Wow.
I don't know about you, but I don't want to drink this oil. And then you wonder why you're alone.
Oh my goodness. Oh Lord Jesus.
You wonder why people don't want to work with you. They don't want to be around you. They don't want to go through and support you.
Come on.
Because you're giving them this.
All right.
You're giving them all of the junk.
The garbage.
And so, we don't want to give them this. So we got to do something different. We got to make it look good. I can't let them see that I live in chaos. So I gotta do something different. Gotta make it look pretty.
Oh no. Oh no.
Stop.
You're covering it.
Cover-ups.
Acting up.
Yes.
So we gotta start wearing some masks, right?
Boy.
The mask of, I don't care.
Yes.
It ain't gonna hurt me. I don't need my life is beautiful.
Covering it.
I'm good.
I'm good.
Glossy.
I don't need your help.
Huh?
I got this. What else?
Being funny.
Didn't matter anywhere.
Being funny just to mask everything.
Say that again?
Being
Being
funny.
funny just to mask everything.
Yes. How many of you guys use
Joke
comedy and
around.
laughter?
Yeah.
Everything
Yeah.
turns into a joke.
Yes.
That was me.
Overcompensation.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That was me. I was the comedian. I would make people laugh so that way they didn't see how much I was hurting.
Yes.
Yes.
I would always try to befriend everybody so that I knew I had somebody
Yes.
to go to.
Yep.
I had some options, hopefully.
True.
What else? What are some of the other masks that we wear?
I don't need a man.
I don't need a man. I'm a people pleaser. You're a yes, 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 yes person. I'm gonna be there for everybody else. But yourself.
Amen.
Yes, I'm gonna have a job so that I have that PhD in VPWXYZ. Those are all the things that I don't have.
I have thick skin.
I've got thick skin.
The
It-
illusion of perfection.
yes. Perfection.
I'm gonna buy stuff. A nice car.
Yeah. Whoa, come on. Materialistic things.
Yes. Overwork.
I'm gonna overwork. Anger. Too much makeup, right? For real. I'm gonna be in the gym all the time and go overwork.
Yeah.
I always wonder about some of those people that are at the gym all the time. Don't you got something else to do? Every time I come in here, you gotta be on that machine. With your shirt off. Bit of nerd.
So funny.
So now, look at that, yes.
So people stop talking so that people won't see you. So people don't see them and they stop.
Yeah.
Hiding.
Voiceless, yeah.
Hey, Brad, I got one. We all attend a ton of conferences, but how much do we implement?
That's a mic drop right there.
Right. So, I want you guys to see something. I want you to notice a couple things that are happening here. Notice how the oil, the junk, is not mixing with your coat. The real thing, the real you.
Oh, wow.
And as it tries to go in, the bubbles are pushing it out.
Oh, my gosh.
How many of you guys have ever caught yourself in a moment of knowing that who you were being at the moment was not who you are, and your body inside, everything
Yes,
felt
yes,
out of
yes,
alignment, and it
yes,
kept
yes.
saying, this is not you.
Yes.
Those are the bubbles, right? Those are the bubbles that are pushing out. I shared with you guys from the front of the stage about, and on VIP day, about the moment when I looked in the mirror and I heard the voice that said, this is not who you are. And I fell to my knees and was bawling because my real thing was calling out. I had a moment when I was right back in here, and it reminded me it's time to make some changes.
Yep.
So now with the glitter on the top up here, we get this and it looks shiny, it looks nice, it looks so beautiful. You still don't want to drink it, right? We walk around thinking that our dreams have gone anywhere, that they've disappeared, but we just have blocked access to them. So, how am I doing on time? 10 minutes, okay, perfect. Time goes by so fast.
This is such a great exercise.
I have 12? Hallelujah, thank you, 2 more. And just so you guys know, I'm going to have to literally run right out of here when I finish, because I got a couple hundred people on live stream that are going to be waiting. So, and so that's what I was just going to acknowledge. All of the team in green are going to be able to be here to kind of process what kind of came up for you and finish up. This right here represents how we're operating. For some of us, this oil, we don't have as much. For others of us, we just got piles and piles of it. These are the experiences that you've gone through. So how do we get back to tapping into our dreams? How do we get back to being more confident, to living who we were designed to be? How do we do that? Anybody? It's a decision. What else?
Clear the oil.
Clear the oil.
Figure out where it came from and deal with it.
Figure out where it came from and deal with it.
Go back to that foundational process.
Go back to the foundational process.
Yeah, let it go.
Let it go.
Do the things that you used to do.
Do the things that you used to do.
Reinvent yourself.
Reinvent yourself.
Finding your true identity.
Finding your true identity.
Getting out is about the fact that it's there.
That's a good one. Getting out is the fact that it's there.
Acknowledging that it's there.
Acknowledging, yes.
Focus on the truth of who you are and who you came to be and just stay there.
There you go.
Pour in
And
So
surround
guys-
yourself with people that
Pour
the
in
tribe
the-
that believes in you.
pour
and
in the
helps
good
you feel
stuff.
well.
Perfect. Find your tribe.
Avenue to rid yourself of it.
Find the avenue to rid yourself of it. Escape.
Start playing and everything on that list.
Come on, Ken Dicker. You see, be present to your dreams again. Exactly. Go back to being the real you.
Yes.
Go back to being imaginative. Go back to being fearless. Going back to being
Loving.
joyful, loving,
Inquisitive.
inquisitive,
Determined.
determined. How many of you guys can use some more determination?
Yes.
Some of you guys, how many of you guys know that you need to just say, you know what? I'm going to do it like I know, like I know, like I know, like I know, like I know. You don't even need to know the how. You just have to first say, I'm going to do it. You first have to say yes. How many of you guys, by show of hands, coming here, have the conversation of, should I do it? Should I not do it? Can I afford it? I don't know if I can do it. How am I going to do the travel? How am I going to do the hotel? And the minute you said yes, doors started opening up.
Yes.
Keep your hands up. Look around right now.
Just about everybody.
Look how many people walk around, stopped, but when they make the decision, when you make the decision, I didn't understand The Secret at first when it came out. I grew up thinking when they used the word the universe, because I grew up in a Christian Catholic home, so it was all about God, and it is for me. God is God, universe, all of the higher powers are all the same to me. That's my belief. Call it what you want. And what I loved about The Secret was it brought this conversation to mainstream. It brought spirituality into the mainstream. And so, in The Secret, it says, claim it to the universe, and it'll start to happen. That's what you guys did to get here. That's what you do to get back to your dreams. Go back to being a kid. What did you used to do? Go back to being nurturing. Go back to being trusting. Go back to taking risks. I'm going to put a little sprinkle because I want you guys to see something. I don't normally dump the whole thing in there, but Kevin really got it on that one. So go back to being more honest, to living in faith, to being more determined, to seeing more people, to open to learning new things. Go back to being tenacity. Go back to being the real you. Now, look at your vessel. Has what happened to you gone anywhere? No. It's still there, right? Notice how when we start tapping into who we truly are and we start pouring more of who we're designed to be, the oil goes on the outside, but it doesn't, so it's still there. It's all poured into here. It still surrounds you. But who people get is more of the real you. There's less of the junk. There's less of the mask. But all of the stories, all of the experiences are still there. This is the example of standing on your story and not in your story.
Amen. Oh my God. Thank you. B-O-L.
B-O-L. This right here is using your stories to impact others. This is why I can share with you that I was using crystal meth for 6.5 years. That I sacrificed my body the way that I wouldn't even, and know is not who I am. That I put myself in situations that I'm not proud of. That I put my life at risk. I can share those stories without holding shame. The times that I walked away from the dreams and the goals that I had without the guilt. I'm standing on my story because they're part of me. They're not going to go anywhere. I can't get rid of them. Some of us are walking away like we're trying to forget. But how we shift that, they're still there. If you come down and when I leave and you guys look at this, you guys can see that it's still all around. Now, when people get you, they get more of the real you. And if I had more Coke, I would just pour this. And when I originally learned this, they actually drank the Coke. After all this. I've done it once. It wasn't bad. I just don't like Coke. So I want you guys to think. As you begin to go back, as you start to think, as you move forward, your dreams don't go anywhere. Your confidence doesn't go anywhere. You're just operating in that junk. Ask yourself, am I standing in my real thing or am I in my junk? This lesson is what gave me compassion to the people that work my nerves. When people show up and they're starting to give you all of their junk, I just think, they're in their oil. So my compassion then taps into who are they truly.
It's really good. B-O-L.
Let me talk to the love in you. Let me talk to the trust in you. Let me talk to who I see way down deep inside. Let me do the work to push through that junk until you're able to get down there. Don't give up. And don't give up on your greatness. Don't give up on your dreams. Because your dreams haven't gone anywhere. Your dreams are still there. You get to pour more into them. You get to tap back into who you truly are. I love this lesson.
Hallelujah.
So I want to hear from the room. I want to hear from at least 3 people. What was the value of this exercise for you? 3 people. 1, 2, and who else? 3. 1, 2.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey. I just had to change the atmosphere just 1 second because it's very intense right now. So I would like to say that this exercise made it for me that I could, this exercise made it for me that I don't no longer have to walk in fear. I can be honest. I can be truthful. And when I yelled out that the one that's not on here is that every day my stepfather would come in, he'd be like, you bitch, you cunt, you slut, you never gonna be nothing. But I'm not that. I am somebody.
Yes.
So that it just broke my truth that this is the first time I'm saying that. I have a lot to my story, but I never told nobody that every day I went home to being a bitch. Every day I went home to being a cunt and a slut and nothing. But I am something, and so are you.
That's that tapping right back into here. That's that tapping right back into there. 2.
Thank you, man.
When you were doing that exercise, my BOL was that I've always been focused on how all that stuff's on top of me and how everyone sees me as weird and not fitting in.
One hand up, 2 hand up.
And as you were saying that, and we're putting all that stuff in, I realized everybody's carrying that stuff around. And instead of listening to someone affirm my oil, that if I started seeing everyone else's real thing and focusing on that, then I could help change the perspective of everyone that I see just by staying focused on the real thing.
Come on.
So, thank you.
This lesson was truly validation to me. I wrote a book called Vessel of Steel. And Matt, when you did your demonstration there, you have the steel pan at the bottom and our vessel. You know, we fill up our vessel and we flow out of the bad stuff and we put in the good stuff. And, you know, it's just so much validation. And the book that I'm currently working on is called Planning Your Dreams. And we lose our dreams as children because people tell us what we cannot to do. When we come out as little babies, we're able to do anything, right? We can stand on top of anything and just pull down whatever we want to do. But people tell us that we can't do this. We're not stop it. You're not supposed to do this. And we let this, you know, just build up in our lives. You know, people telling us what we can and cannot do. So I thank you for this validation. I know that God has put me on the right track to be able to share that we are, you know, created to be, you know, our potential is high. You know, we are filled with God's Spirit in us. And I just thank you for the validation, and I'm so excited.
Amen.
I wish I had some more time because I would love to take you guys to a visualization. I want to give you guys an invitation. You're going to hear, breathe. What's coming up for you right now?
Thank you. When you spoke, I had a husband like that. And I never told anybody. He had multiple personalities. I have a journal of all his personalities and what happened. And I almost died on a daily basis. I've had hands around my neck more times than I can count. And I wrote a book that I never, ever, ever published called From Silently Screaming to Joyful Empowerment. But now I know I didn't publish it because I didn't quite get to that joyful empowerment. I did, but I didn't, because I still thought as a healer, I wasn't valid with all of that. I wasn't valid if people knew what I had lived, because what I shared wasn't what I lived.
How many of you guys think that your stories are powerful? I'm not there yet. You've gone through some stuff. You've celebrated what you've already accomplished.
Thank you.
That book needs to be written.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
I know that if there's a 10% that I can make right now,
Oh my God. Oh my God. Thank you.
if I know just getting outside of the house is going to get me closer, if I know that packing up my stuff and making a run is one step, like we think that we have to jump all the way back there. When you think of your goals, it's the same thing. We think that we have to do it all 100%. Small babies.
Yep.
I don't want to keep doing that.
Good job.
This exercise and a whole lot more, like we break out these conversations really in depth and we go into them. You're going to hear about a couple things. Those of you guys that were part of the VIP day heard about our retreats. We do curriculum like this at our retreats, and there are a couple different retreats, and we're going to tell you more about them in the main room. But this is a type of work. If you're looking to break through, to tap back into who you truly are, to break past some of the limiting beliefs and things that have stopped you, that stepping into how do I create healthier relationships, first and foremost for yourself, and then with others. How do I mend? How do you move past some of the limiting beliefs? How do you go through and build healthier relationships, first with yourself? First with yourself, and then with others. How do I learn to say, yes, I deserve it? How do I heal from relationships or experiences with mothers and fathers? Going back to our mom and our dad, what healing needs to happen around that? How do I learn to set goals and celebrate the journey? How do I learn to appreciate myself and in a space of growth and relaxation? And being able to do the work and then step back and absorb it. How do I learn to stand in more integrity with myself? Integrity being who you truly are. So we have some retreats that are available. We're going to share those with you later on. We also have some amazing team that if you want to find out about those retreats, they can tell you about them. This is where we do the work. The content on both of the different types of retreats are 85% the same. They're just different conversations while we're there. And so they'll give you those informations of what those are. I want to thank you guys. I want to thank you guys for coming in, for chopping back in. I encourage you to stay here, to be more of you guys. And with that, we'll see you guys in the room.
Bye, Matt. Thanks. What I forget?